Hello and welcome to Matt Loves Eurovision. This is my New Year's update for Eurovision 2025. And please do click the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and of course like, share and comment below. As you can see, I am recording this just at the very end of the festive period. We've still got the decorations up, but sadly they will be coming down imminently this weekend. I do hope you've all had a lovely holiday period and a good new year as well. Now this is really just to give a little bit of an update on what's been going on in Eurovision world. We are gearing up to one of the very busiest times of the Eurovision calendar now, but there's been quite a few things happening through kind of November and December so far to update you on if you haven't been following stuff already. And of course there is a lot to look forward to as well. So one of the big things that happened in the last few weeks was that we got some more information around the stage design of the for Eurovision, and a look at some of the kind of the art theme around it, and also slightly more controversially kind of the fonts they're going to be using in some of that design work as well. Now, to be honest, I rarely have a kind of a strong view about kind of some of the designs, the graphics, the slogans, as some people do. Some people get very aerated about it. I'm slightly more relaxed about it, and I think we've got some nice looking Swiss themes coming through, and there's some and although we're not changing the overall slogan for the contest, we have got a slogan or a theme around the kind of the art design this year. I think probably the most controversial element, and certainly from my perspective, it's the only thing that I kind of have gone, ooh, is around the use of the font, which is around italics, which I'm from a digital management background and using on the website side of things, and italics is something you avoid like the plague because of accessibility concerns generally on the web and digital, but we'll see how that plays out. I'm sure the vast majority of people won't even notice about any of these little things. I'm sure we'll get to see more of what's going on with the stage in due course as well. I think at this stage it's always, you tend to just see the concepts. We've also been given information about tickets, also Euro Club, kind of the arrangements for what will be happening in Basel itself, and kind of what they'll be doing kind of in the wider city as well, which is all very exciting if you happen to be going. Sadly I won't be going, but I'm sure that's all very exciting for those that are, well, hoping to get tickets if they haven't hoping to get tickets anyway. We've also had, slipped out slightly more quietly, is the list of participating countries. I think we kind of knew who was going to be in this. It's 38 countries. It's the same list of countries as we had last year, barring the addition of, or the return, I should say, of Montenegro. I think we'd had hopes that North Macedonia might be back this year, but that looks like it's going to be delayed for a year. I know there'd been hopes of perhaps getting Monaco back into the contest as well. But yeah, that will also looks like it have to wait as well. We have got a couple of countries who are down in the participation list who I think are potentially at risk of not participating. One of those is Israel. That's because the broadcaster, the public broadcaster, is currently under threat of privatisation, or which is going through the Israeli parliament at the moment, and that could well mean that they would not be permitted to participate because they would not be a member of the EBU. Whether or not that will actually happen, and if it happens in time for Eurovision, is another matter, but that's just something hanging over that one. Also, I think potentially Georgia is a risk, given there are a lot of political developments in that country at the moment. There's some sort of shades of what might have happened with Belarus a few years ago. Again, we hope that the broadcaster remains sort of a free public broadcaster, and that they will be able to participate. Of course, Georgia won Junior Eurovision this year. Speaking of Montenegro, they had a national final, and it's one of two national finals that have taken place already. Montenegro's was slightly complicated because the winners, the winning song Clickbait, was discovered to have been performed before the 1st of September. And although the festival that they performed it at, the band that one had performed it at, was a very small one, and often the EBU have forgiven for people for those sorts of things, the band decided to withdraw from Eurovision, from the contest, because they just didn't want all that fuss to be on them for that. So in the end, the artist that came second, which was Nina Zizic, she won the jury. She came fourth with the public vote, and so she will be going to Eurovision with Dobro Doshil. However, that will be undergoing a revamp. So I'm not going to make any comments in this session about the actual songs, because that will come when I do my top 38. She's actually been to Eurovision before. She was an uncredited singer for the 2013 Montenegrin entry, which was the song Agranka. The other one that's happened just before Christmas is traditionally it's Albania, Festival e Kangas. It's their big long-standing music festival. That had a bit of a change of format to that this year, a bit more open in the voting, split jury and public vote. And that was won by Shodra Elektronika with their song Jem, or Jem, probably pronounced that incorrectly, but it means fire in the local Northern Albanian dialect that they speak. So that will also be going under a bit of a revamp, as Albanian songs often do, although I think the revamp, they are going to keep it in Albanian rather than changing it to English, so I think there's some of those other tweaks we shall see. But again, we'll find out more about that in due course when I do my reviews. We've also had two further artist announcements in the time, so not the songs, but the artist announcements. The very much anticipated announcement of the Dutch artist. That is going to be a artist called Claude. He is a Congolese-born Dutch singer, but he sings both in Dutch and French. And has actually had some quite big hits in the Netherlands and in Belgium already. Won't obviously hear his song for quite a bit of time yet. And the other artist that's been announced is from Czechia. He is actually from Slovakia. It's Adonis, but he will be representing Czechia. He again has had some chart success in both Slovakia and Czechia, and also happened to live in London for a time, as again, many of the Eurovision artists always seem to spend some time living in London. We've also got a lot of national finals coming up in the next few weeks. It's a really, really busy time, this national final season. We've already been getting releases of some of the songs that are going to be in the national finals. So we've already heard the Estonian songs, the Luxembourg songs, the Spanish songs. We're getting drip feeds of Lithuanian ones. I think the Croatian and Finnish ones are coming out imminently. And that will sort of continue on. We've also had the lists of artists that are competing in some of these national finals. The most perhaps notable one to take off is in Melfest in Sweden. We have a return of a former Eurovision winner, Måns Zelmerlöw, who of course won back in 2015. Now in January we've got the start of various semi-finals. I think with Lithuania and Spain are both doing their semi-finals in January, but we do have a couple of actual sort of decision finals happening in January. So we have Luxembourg and we have Greece, and I believe we also have the announcement of the Israeli artist, notwithstanding any issues with the broadcaster. But then once we get past the end of January, February is even more full, packed of national finals and various shows. So it's a very, very exciting time for all Eurovision fans. And the other big excitement thing we get, or certainly exciting for, again, Eurovision fans, is towards the end of January, on the 28th of January, we'll get the semi-final allocation draw. So we'll know which countries are going in which pot and which semi-final. They do it through a series of pots, so you try and avoid getting clustered completely with all your neighbours or kind of historical voting supporters. Or that's the idea, to try and make it balance it as much as possible. And also it's which of the automatic qualifiers, the big five plus the host broadcaster, which semi-final that they will vote in as well. So that will come on the 28th of January. Unlike a lot of Eurovision YouTubers, I don't do kind of reaction videos to the songs as they come out or to the national finals. That I save that for my reviews. which will launch probably towards the end of March. But I will obviously drop in from time to time, hopefully, with any further updates. And of course, you can always keep an eye on my website, www.mattloveseurovision.com, where I have a page which has a big long list of all of the countries and kind of where they are in their selections, whether it's a national final, whether it's an internal selection, or whether it's something else. It's just the detail, any details that I've got of that. But it's all on one single page that you can browse through. But that's all, I think, for now. I hope you enjoy national final season, enjoy these last couple of days of the festive season, and brace yourselves for the return to work on Monday. It depends when I actually get this video out. You might already be back at work, but whichever it is, I hope it all goes well, and we will see you again very soon. Take care.